Let's talk about Iran and Israel. The two countries are at war, something we all had feared for a very long time. While Tel Aviv is trying to keep the narrative centered around Tehran's nuclear facilities, Tehran is warning there is a bigger game at play here. Did Israel plan to assassinate Iran's supreme leader? Is the goal to oust the Ayatollahs in Iran? And is the US running the show behind the curtains? I'm Ananya Dutta, and this is Grey Zone. The omens in Tel Aviv and Tehran say that this war is going to continue for the coming weeks, maybe more. While fighting proxy wars on multiple fronts, Israel has been preparing for a direct war with Iran for decades. If we talk about only the last 10 years, Israel bombed the Iranian embassy in Syria in 2014. The following year, it was vocally upset about Iran signing a nuclear deal with Western powers. And a Mossad operation suggests that Netanyahu personally convinced US President Trump to withdraw from the deal in 2018. In 2020, Israel killed the father of Iran's nuclear program. And last week, Israel carried out a massive attack against Iran. Past US presidents had allowed Israel a free hand in targeting Iranian proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis. But striking Iran was a no go.
We waited for diplomacy to work. We gave the international community time. We watched negotiations stretched on as Iran made forced concessions or refused the most fundamental conditions. All the while, Iran continued to build toward the unthinkable. Last night, the wait ended.
It seems like the messaging slightly changed with Donald Trump in the White House. The question is, what is the red line? More importantly, is there a red line? When Trump came to power, to one surprise, he offered talks to the Iranians. There were reports in American media, which Trump himself confirmed later, that he waved off an Israeli plan to attack Iran in May itself. He had then said, and I'm quoting, "I want to give diplomacy a chance." Well, diplomacy works slower than a drone, and clearly, the multiple rounds of nuclear negotiations were frustrating the US administration. So experts say Trump resorted to arm twisting, and Netanyahu was more than happy to lead it.
I do believe and understand that everything was very well coordinated with the US, everything. From the presidential point of view, from the military intelligence, everything was very well coordinated. The schedule, as Trump said, the schedule of the attack was delivered to the US, so they knew exactly when the attack will come. And I think it's while you see the engagement, the American engagement with Iran, trying to go to any kind of settlement.
Within hours of this interview that I conducted, a US official told NBC about a worrying escalation. President Trump rejected a proposal by Israel to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Israel has refuted these reports, but its own Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is openly talking about a regime change in Iran.
Could certainly be the result because the Iran regime is very weak. I think it's basically left with two things. It's plans to have atomic bombs and ballistic missiles. That's basically what Iran has. They certainly don't have the people. 80% of the people would throw these theological thugs out. I mean, they murder them, they oppress them for 46 years. They've yearned for freedom.
Now, this is a dangerous escalation, one that can change the course of how the Middle East looks right now. Ayatollah Khamenei has been the leader of Iran since 1989. He has built a theocratic system that is loyal to him. He's the supreme leader, in many ways the judge, the jury, and the executioner. He's a conservative cleric who has survived both reformist and hardliner precedents. But in recent years, he has come under massive pressure from within and outside. With Israel's latest onslaught, the 86-year-old Ayatollah must be feeling the weight of the revolution on his shoulders.
فکر نکنند که زدند They should not think they struck and it's over, no. They started this and triggered a war. We will not allow them to walk away unscathed from the great crime they have committed.
Khamenei is a child of the revolution. He grew up in an Iran that saw the US's CIA and UK's MI6 orchestrate a coup that reinstated a man close to them, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran as he was known. His son, sitting in the United States, is calling for Khamenei's downfall even today.
But the Iranian people realize, and the world needs to realize, that the root cause of the problem has been the regime and its nature. And the only solution ultimately that will benefit both the Iranian people as well as the free world is for this regime to no longer be there. I've been arguing this point from the very beginning, that the ultimate solution is regime change. Now we have an opportunity because this regime is at its weakest point.
Israel is in no position to continue without the US's support. While on paper, Washington keeps distancing itself from the Israeli attack, the picture on the ground is a lot different.
And obviously, we informed our American friends and President Trump, our great friend, ahead of time. Now, we did. He knew about it, of course. American pilots are shooting down drones that are headed towards Israel, as do our pilots.
Will the U.S. continue to support Israel in its defense?
We do, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
Trump is keeping the option of getting involved with Israel open. But one thing that we all know about Trump is that when he speaks, he is mostly looking at the Americans at home. And a new war in the Middle East will clash with his America First policy. You see, US doesn't like the negotiations and Israel doesn't like the negotiator. But in this push and pull, Iran isn't a puppet. If the goal is to bring a modern Shah in Tehran, then this isn't a war, it's a revolution. Israel is flipping the table and Trump is watching from the head of it. So the real question is, who's next to fall off it? I'm Ananya Dutta. This is Grey Zone.